Come on, a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Oh my God. I love you all. I love you all. You are amazing. You have influenced, for better or for worse, a lot of people's young lives and older. Yes. Did you hear me that time? And I was just turning on. What was the question?
Justin, are you gay?
Not yet. That's what I said. Yep.
You mean you're not happy?
I am ecstatic right now. Yeah, I know. But I thought we meant it another way. So.
What other way is there?
Can I demonstrate? That was a joke, maybe. All right. I want to start with a question that's going to be, I was trying to think of all the different things. I've read a few books, movies. So here's the question I've got before we turn it over to you. And you guys start lining up over there where Mike and the pink hat's going. Just line up over there and just start. We'll get through your questions. I'm only going to ask just this one. You guys have partied and hung out with people that you probably never even talked about.
Cheech.
Both.
Cheech,
Both of you.
Not me.
Yeah. Yes, both of you. Can you tell me, both of you, and each take your own turn, and if you want to start first, what is the craziest damn story you have about you would never believe and we hung out with this person? I know. That's probably hard because there's a ton, right? What's your favorite?
I can't remember what I ate 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I bet there's some that you're like, I can't believe that happened.
I think
When you look-
Cheech better answer that one.
Boy, I better. I think the most famous and oddest and funniest and weirdest person we ever hung out with was Peter Sellers.
Oh, can you talk about Peter Sellers for a minute? If you guys know the Pink Panther, played Clouseau. Yes.
Being there.
Being there.
Peter was a big fan of the records.
You're very old.
Okay, yeah, if you have a question, just go over here and get in line. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Peter was a big fan of the Cheech Chong records when we first came up.
Right.
And Lou Adler, who was
Our producer.
producing, Lou was involved with Peter's wife.
Yeah.
Who
Ex-wife.
at the time,
Ex-wife,
ex-wife, was Britt Eklund.
Mm-hmm.
And so Peter and Lou hooked up, when they heard Cheech and Chong, Peter arranged for us to tour England,
Yes.
London and outside of London. And so we flew to London,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the plane landed, the stewardess came back and said, "You guys stay on the plane because we got a special place for you to exit."
Yeah.
And so when we got off the plane, they took us to this area at Heathrow, I guess it was. And in the area, there's a limousine that was parked there. And as we walked up to the limousine, the back window rolled down, and then this hand holding a biggest chunk of hash I've never seen a bigger hunk since. It was burning at the end. And it was like, "Welcome to England." and so Cheech and I got in the car and we toked up. And then I don't remember after that.
There was nothing after that. Peter was so odd in that he would never speak on the phone in his own voice.
Well, he had a hard time when he did the Muppets of not being able to just, that thing where you talk to Kermit,
Yeah.
he couldn't be himself.
Yeah, he would call. I remember one time we were in Washington, D.C. and we'd get a call, Leslie Horwinkle called. And Leslie Horwinkle was one of the characters from the records.
Yes.
And that was the signal of Peter Sellers' call. Okay, so we'd have to call him back. And so, "Hey, Peter, this is Cheech. I got your call." Oh, Mr. Sellers. And he had a Vietnamese or
Chinese, yeah.
houseboy. And so, Mr. Sellers called. He said, "You come for lunch." Okay. We come for lunch. So everybody got their pee. Me and Tommy and all. We got out there and go to his house in the country and then go to the restaurant. Hi, it's Cheech Chong here for Peter. Oh, Mr. Sutter say you come in. Okay. And then we'd go in there and Peter would come to the door. Hey, what? And then there was nobody else in the house. We stayed all day, had lunch, and hobnobbed, and there was nobody else in the house. It was just him, and he would do that all the time.
And he booked us, he helped do the booking. And one of the places, we played all these venues. In fact, we played Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club. Because we told everybody, we like working little jazz clubs. And Ronnie Scott's got this jazz club in London. And so Cheech and I, we're used to doing our shows in LA and in New York and that. So we do our show. And then after we had to do 2 shows. After the first show, the owner of the club, he comes up. He says, good show, boys, but here's 50 quid. Don't do the doggies. And the doggy routine was where Cheech and I would act like little dogs.
Right.
And would smell each other's butt. In circles. And then one of us would, usually me, I'd have to take a dump. And we did all this, and then, it was a very funny bit. But not really quite suited for the English.
And do yourself a favor, if you don't know who Peter Sellers was, you're absolutely right. Being There, directed by Hal Ashby, is one of the greatest American films of all time. And by the way, it's like Network. It's just as important today as it was then.
Yeah.
It's gotten even more.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Anybody seen the Pink Panther movies? That's Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
One more
Sellers
story.
Please.
I was flying to Washington.
Yep.
We had a gig there, and Cheech wasn't there. Cheech went to New York. He had some business in New York. And so I flew, and we get on the plane, and there's Peter. And so I sat with Peter, and he gave me a Polaroid picture of him on the movie Being There. And at the time, Peter was going with the daughter of the ambassador from where? Netherlands?
No, yeah, Switzerland. No, it was Sweden.
Swedish,
yeah.
The Swedish ambassador. And so Peter was staying in Washington at the place, the little place there. So
Where the ambassador
I was flying with our roadie, Jimmy Root, and a very great magician named Ricky Jay. Remember Ricky Jay?
Ricky Jay and his 52 friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Ricky Jay. And so we're all on the plane. We're flying. Peter says, you got to come first of all, we took Peter out for lunch or for dinner or whatever. And,
meal.
And while we were out there, Ricky Jay arranged a trick, a magician's trick. And so at the end of the meal, Ricky Jay signaled the waiter. The waiter brings over what would it be? Like a platter with a cover. He picks up the cover. There's a block of ice with a lemon inside the ice. And before he did all that, he had Peter pick a card and write his name on the card. Bring out the ice, and the thing with the lemon, open up, and there's, like I said, a block of ice. We watch him break the ice, break out the lemon, whole lemon, cut it in half, and guess what's inside the lemon?
The card.
The card.
Folded with Peter Sellers' thing. Now, I really think Peter almost had a heart attack.
One of his many.
Because he was so amazed, we all were. How the fuck did he do that?
If you don't know who Ricky Jay is, he passed away a few years ago. He's in several David Mamet. Oh my God, we could go down the road here. I'm so sorry. Look him up.
Oh no, he was incredible.
He was the world's greatest card magician. I mean, anything with cards. He could throw a card over a 3-story building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was incredible. And so then we went to the pastor's resident after. No, we're all, of course, we got stoned. We're sitting there, and there's a row of buttons that you can push, like the doorbells. And we said, Peter, what's this for? He said, well, let's find out. Pushes the button, and here comes a maid, waiter. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? And we spent most of the day pushing buttons and laughing like crazy. People were coming. Oh, man.
Thank you all so much. I will shut up now, but aren't you glad I started with that first question? All right, sir, our first victim, yell out your question.
Major fan of y'all's since the 70s. I know y'all met in the early 60s. What I'm curious is how long did y'all work at City Works together?
How long did you work at City Works together? Do you remember?
The City Works?
Yeah, when was that? When that was in like 69, 70?
Late 60s, early 70s.
The City Works, the group we had in Vancouver.
Oh, okay. That's what we called ourselves.
Yeah.
I think it was 9 months.
9 months?
Yeah, and it gave birth to Cheech Chong.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It seemed appropriate, because the reason we left is we got fired.
By his brother.
My own club. My own club, and my brother one time, it was a titty bar, and we changed it into an improvisational club.
It was improvisational naked theater. Wait,
It was very popular.
No, the problem was, when it was just a titty bar, we made a ton of money. But when we turned it into a theater, next thing you know, we had an audience counting their change. I think you owe me a quarter. So we lost money, but the show was great. And one time, Cheech and I were sitting there, kind of talking about how well we did that. My brother come along and dropped a bunch of bills, and he said, we've got to change the show. We've got to get the show back to what it was. And so then I said, okay, well then, Cheech and I have to go down to LA to make it big. And so, first of all, we were going to do it musically. And so we put a band together. We had a drummer and a piano player and a bass player, and we got a gig. It was the Battle of the Bands at the Vancouver Gardens. Was it the Gardens?
Gardens, yeah.
And I got my dad's car, and Cheech and I get in the car and we drive down there, and we talked among ourselves. We said, okay, well, we'll do a little comedy before we do the music. Well, once we got into the comedy, and this is the rock and roll crowd where they all had to sit down, not listen to music, but sit down and watch comedy. And at first, a lot of people were nervous, thinking, the rock and rollers. But they loved the comedy so much that they wouldn't, we had to keep doing it. And next thing you know, we never did any music.
The band's still standing there on stage. Okay, we're ready.
In fact, the bass player said, when's our next gig, boss? Because we never played one note. And that night, that's when Cheech and I decided, hey, we're a comedy team. And so we had to figure out a name.
Yeah.
And so we're driving home in the rain, and my dad's car was like an old Nash, and the windshield wipers broke, and they wouldn't work. And this is Vancouver.
It rains every day.
And it was rain, torrential rain. And so we were taking turns working the windshield wipers with a coat hanger.
A wire coat hanger.
And we're talking names, yeah. So Chong and Marin, nah. Richard and Tommy, nah. I said, Cheech, don't you have a nickname? And Cheech says, yeah, Cheech. And we looked at each other, Cheech and Chong. And I remember being outside going, Cheech and Chong, Cheech and Chong.
And it was never Chong and Cheech because Cheech and Chong scanned better because we were both musicians all our life, and that sound, okay, that made the rhythms.
But it was the first and the last name. It's perfect. And we didn't know it, you know. We played UCLA one time, and a linguist came up and explained how brilliant we were. You know? But then we came to LA, and the first thing Cheech does, he leaves. He goes up with his buddies up to Big Bear. Was it Big Bear?
Sure.
What's your buddy? What's his name? Doug.
Oh, Doug. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Uh-huh.
And I, in the meantime, I knew Red Fox. I knew him from the old my blues club days, and so I called Red Fox's club. He had a nightclub on downtown on La Cienega, and I told Cheech, come on, we got a gig, man. You got to get back here. And so Cheech came back, and we went on Red Fox. And Norma Miller, the MC, the lady MC, she was a little bit limited with her vocabulary, you know. And so she said, "What's y'all name?" Cheech Chong. I said, "Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a new comedy act here, Geek and Gank."
I was geek.
That's how we got introduced, and it really was a great introduction. And we went on and we did some of our titty jokes, you know, and it was good. Well, we had Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was this incredible comedian that died of an overdose, I guess.
Yes.
And his whole entourage was sitting in the audience. Sally Marr, his mother, Tony Viscara, Sally's husband, but Lenny's road manager, and all the Lenny Bruce people were waiting. They were looking, and they were really going to all the comedy clubs looking for the next Lenny. And so when Tony Viscara saw Cheech and Chong, Tony's backstage right away, and we got to know Tony, and he became our manager, but we had to help him financially. We had to pick up the tabs all the time. It was really incredible. But to be compared to Lenny Bruce, you know,
Absolutely.
that was a thing. So it was our whole career. Oh, actually, it was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you so much. Next question.
Then I went downtown, looked for a job.
Next question. You got this.
What is your favorite memory while making Up and Smoke?
Favorite memory of making Up in Smoke, which that's my one sheet right over there. I got it over. I just wanted to hang up for you guys.
Yeah, you did a great job with that.
Well, I didn't make it.
Oh.
What's your favorite memory?
Of Up in Smoke? God, I don't know. Shooting in Malibu, where we were both living at the time. We were both living in Malibu at the time of Up in Smoke. Yeah. Anyways, and because it was like shooting in our neighborhood, you know, and everybody there knew us, and so we'd be shooting on Pacific Coast Highway, and everybody that we knew, hey, you're in the shot, dude. Come on, keep moving. So, I was kind of like. Movies are complicated.
I think my favorite was when we wrapped the movie. I realized we shot this movie in less than a month. For less than $1 million.
Wow.
It was actually close to $800,000. And the reason we shot it so fast was that there was no rehearsal. Like we shot the movie like we did our live show. We get together, what are we going to do today? Okay, let's do this, and this. And I'd write down the notes and hand it to the script writer. She would take it, write it into a script, write a script out, and then hand it out to the people that needed to know. And what Lou did as our director at the time was to give Stacy Keach, who plays Stadenko, our records. So Stacy could study Stadenko, like we did a character in our records, like Stadenko. And then all the rest of the actors ad-libbed their own lines. Tom Skerritt did that whole Vietnam thing with Cheech and the motorcycle. My dad, Strother Martin, he did that You Get a Job by Sunday.
Bend and scoop.
Yeah, Bend and Scoop. They wrote every line themselves because all those actors that we hired were professional improv actors. They could improv for hours.
How did you get them?
Just, I don't know, Lou Adler, actually.
Just Lou because he had the connections. Huh?
But we offered them money.
Well, I know.
But again, was Lou Lombardo. We did, because we were having trouble getting a director. In fact, Lou tried to get Rob Reiner to direct, and Rob wouldn't do it because of the connections that we had with a group called The Committee, and Rob was kind of tied up with those guys. And so then we had a Floyd Metrick who did some truck car movies earlier, hot rod movies. And we met with him a couple of times, but he was like a real director. He was more worried about his car collection than he was about what we were going to put on the screen. And so we told Lou, we can't work with him. And so Lou said, well, Paramount would be comfortable if he directed. And we said, oh, great, fine. And so, because Lou was like our director anyway, he's our producer. When we did our records, we would go to Lou, he'd get the rough cut, and then he'd give us notes, what he should do. And so what we did was, that's how we directed the movie. Cheech and I would talk, and I'd write out the scenario, and then Lou would get it, except right up to the end. And then, again, I was used to working the way we work. And then all of a sudden, they didn't want me on the set. Lou's got it. And because they're shooting the ending. And I thought, well, that's weird, so, but he's the director. So Lou and Lombardo, they all shot their ending. I call it their ending, because when they screened it, it just pissed me off so much, man. Because here we are, we got this up in smoke, the thing going, it's so nice. And then the ending that Lou wrote, or that Lou Lombardo and those guys wrote, it was all a dream. All of a sudden, that when we got busted in Malibu, we kept back to that. And it was like, somehow we dreamt the whole concert and everything else. And it was like, I almost threw up. It was so horrible. And so
You did throw up. I remember you did actually throw up. Yeah. Big chunks.
And so I told everybody that wanted to listen, that ending sucks, man. That's not going to work. We got to get in. And so Lou Lombardo, that's what they wanted to hear. So they all gathered around, and then I told them, I'm going to write, and I'm going to direct. Well, Cheech and I are going to write the ending, and then I'm going to, I'll direct it. And so I got a little special thing where it says Tommy Chong directed the ending. But it was the ending and what really all the ending was that after the concert, we're just driving down Malibu saying, hey, we're going to be big rock stars. We're going to be famous. We can get our cousin to go on the road with us.
We're going to be bigger than Ruben and the Jets,
Yeah, we had a good time. Man. And then they screened it. They screened the good ending. And there again, Cheech and I got excluded, because Lou he took the movie to Paris, and they had a special screening and everything else. But guess who wasn't there? The guys that did the fucking movie. But that's okay. It all worked out.
It all worked out, yeah. Next question. We'll try to get through most of these. Yes, ma'am.
Just want to know if you have a favorite memory from Nash Bridges, and if you have a favorite memory from that 70s show.
Favorite memory from Nash Bridges and favorite memory from that 70s show.
Nash Bridges for me was 6 years of enjoying San Francisco. You know, San Francisco. If there's a town you have to own, San Francisco is the one to own. And
It's available now.
Is it? I'm going to make a bid, man.
No, all the .comers are leaving. And apparently they're talking about San Francisco losing, and a lot of restaurants are closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got a
That's a
chance.
good chance. Good time to buy it. Yeah. But it was San Francisco. We had a great time. You know, it was. That's my favorite memory. The people of San Francisco and how they welcomed us. You know, they were not really welcoming to people shooting movies there because you know they're up all night and lights and blah blah blah. They tie up traffic and you know. But they liked us because we represented the city in the way they wanted it to be represented. And so we had a great time there, and we were in bed with the mayor and the city council and everybody, so everything went smooth for all the time we were there. So it was a great part of my life, you know.
Tommy,
Was that?
That 70s show?
that 70s show, your favorite memory from that 70s show?
Oh, I'm a stoner, so I don't have any. My favorite memory, I guess, was the fact I eventually realized I wasn't going to be able to write one line for that show because everything was scripted. Everything is scripted, but the writers were so good, they took my energy and made everything look like it was ad-libbed, the way they wrote it. I got so much respect for writers in Hollywood now because of that. Because a true writer, man, they just got inside me and the show itself. And so I never had a big part at all, but I was there the whole time. And so rather than sitting in my dressing room watching TV, which I usually do, I started sitting and going to school. And I'd sit there and watch the director and the cameraman and everybody work. And I was like, then I got a whole schooling on how they make a sitcom and how the timing and how so much of this and so much of that and how they were very anal with the whole show. And that's why the show was such a big hit. They grabbed a piece of everybody, like Wilmer and there was a representative of all the young kids. Well, you guys know because it's your show. You had some character in the show that you could latch on to, and a lot of them latched on to me because I was such I reminded people of their brothers, their dads, husbands, themselves. It was just a phenomenal show. And then there was one time, one incident that happened that kind of put a smile on my face. Because I came into that show being half of Cheech and Chong. But when I got there, I was just Tommy Chong. And I'm just an actor. But there was this thing, lingers. In fact, I always used to think that I had more important things to do. But then I realized I didn't. Just relax and be who you are and enjoy what you got. And that's what I did, and it was so good. But one time, a Make-A-Wish guy, and his wish was that he wanted to sit and have lunch with one of the stars of that 70s show. And so right away, Ashton Kutcher, he gets all ready because he was like in his mind anyway, he was the star of the show. But the kid chose me. and I was like the least of the whole cast because the whole cast they were separate. We were it's a very caste system. Like the main guys, they had their own lunch area, they had their own offices, they had everything, and the kitty and Red and myself and Dawn, you know, the neighbor and the rest of us, you know, we're just bit players, you know, as far as they're concerned. But it was.
You should have come to San Francisco. Nice there.
I got offered that Nash Bridges, but I said I don't want to be no fucking cop.
So, has Dave ever come home?
Has Dave ever come home?
Dave not only came home, but he directed Cheech Chong's last movie, which is on Netflix right now. And his name is Dave Bushell. And Dave, in fact, that's what he wanted us. He didn't write anything for us in that thing. In fact, he gave us probably the worst directions we've ever had in a movie. But it worked. Whatever the fuck he did, it worked. And so Dave directed the Cheech and Chong's last movie. That's what Dave.
All right, come on up, Deadpool, and then we've got one more. Go
I
ahead.
just want to welcome you, Mr. Dolly, you, Mr. Yes, yes.
Amsterdam.
So, actually, the question is, where did the full skit of, the strawberries and working your way up to them goddamn bananas, where the hell did that come from?
From the actors.
Yeah.
From the
Well, I
actors.
mean, was that like a build-up story for Tommy's character?
It's the first kind of thing you see in the movie, so whatever
Yeah.
they said, they were improv actors.
Right.
So we put them in the situation and go, you're the father, you're the mother, and this is your dynamic, and then you got this guy, he's the kid.
Yeah.
And go.
Start out picking strawberries.
I get-
You work your way.
Bend and stoop like the Mexicans,
Yeah. Well, dude, you all, you've influenced me so much, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
being here.
All right,
My
thank
pleasure,
you.
man.
And here comes our last question. Go ahead.
You guys are awesome. My whole life I love you guys. Big fan of music and the Basketball Jones song. I love that song. But one of my favorite songs by any band, this song just rocks. And I was wondering if we could just light this room up with a rendition of "Earache My Eye." I got it queued up here. If you all want to do it, I thought it would be a hit.
Well, I love the story of Basketball Jones, because the way that happened, Cheech and I were riding to the Laker game with Jack Nicholson. And Nicholson's very impatient driver. And next thing you know, we're going 70 miles down the wrong way on Manchester Avenue. And Cheech is in the back seat, I'm in the front seat, and Cheech starts singing, I got Basketball Jones. Basketball Jones.
It was a previous record called Love Jones by another group. It was popular at the time, and I maybe was playing on the radio, and so I started singing basketball just because I thought we were going to die.
That's his VW in the movie. It's Jack Nicholson's car, right? Is that true?
Yeah, the Volkswagen.
The Volkswagen, that's his.
Yeah,
that's
he
his-
donated that to me.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, and that's Jack Nicholson's Volkswagen.
Yeah.
But Jack Nicholson, no, he was driving, and then when we got to the game, it just stuck in my head, Basketball Jones, man. And so then, I think the next day,
Next day, we went to the
we're
studio.
in the studio singing Basketball Jones.
And
And,
it's-
who was it that did the intro?
Well, George Harrison from the Beatles was in the next
You
studio.
guys remember the Beatles?
These guys with the mop tops, and they were in the next studio recording. Lou walks over and says, "Hey, you want to be in the Cheech and Chong record?" Might as well, And he comes over and I think you played him the song and Carole King was on the record too, and so Tommy played on the piano, which he's not a piano player. Plays the first part of Basketball Jones. He goes, "Those aren't the words to Love Jones. Or those aren't the chords to Love Jones," but she figured it out. And then George Harrison sat down and played that intro, and it sounded just like George Harrison. I mean, like if
Well, you listen to it now.
Yeah.
Listen to it now and you can hear George Harrison, because it's a long intro. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, Carol King said to me, that's not the right changes. I said, that makes it original.
Earache My
Earache My Eye was written by, or it was started to write by a guitar player from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. One of the greatest guitarists ever. In fact, when I heard him play, I put my guitar down and said, okay, I'm a comedian. And that was it. Well, he was staying with Cheech at Cheech's house, and Cheech was dating this gorgeous, I won't tell you.
Girl. It was a girl.
Anyway, so Kate comes out of the bedroom, he goes, hey, Tommy, listen to this. Mama talking to me,
And he had read the whole music.
That's all he had. Mama talking to me. And so then I put the rest of the lyrics, and Cheech sang it, and it's been one of the most classic Cheech Chong music ever.
All right.
His name was Gabriel DeLorme.
The guitar player.
Yeah, Gator Lord. But you can look him on, what do you call it?
YouTube.
YouTube, on that internet thing.
On the interweb. It's out there on the interweb.
And with that, please stand up and scream. For Cheech and Chong, Tommy John and Cheech, man, thank you so much. Thank you.